Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to check all your fluids on your vehicle. Probably most of you know, but if you don't know, you will after this video. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the oil. Make sure that your vehicle's been sitting for a couple of minutes so all the oil has an opportunity to pour back into the drain pan. So I've wiped it off. Here's your add mark, here's your full mark. Each one of those little tiny holes is 1/4 of a quart. So from the add to the full is 1 quart. So we're going to stick it back in there. This vehicle's been sitting for about 5-10 minutes. There we go, a little dirty, probably needs changed. It should be clearer than that. It shouldn't run like that runny, so I definitely need an oil change, but it is full. So that's how you check your oil. If it's one dot, you need 1/4 of a quart. 2 dots, 1/2 quart. 3 dots, 3/4 of a quart. And 4, of course, a whole quart. Water fluid or windshield wiper fluid, just open it and make sure it's full. It's got a full mark on it. On your water, when you check your water, make sure it's cool. All of them will have a low and a high or a cold and a hot. If the engine's been sitting a while, fill it up to the cold mark. If it's been sitting only a couple of minutes, fill it up to the hot mark. This one's actually right there at the hot mark, so we're good there. I just recently checked it. Don't put too much in there. Don't fill it all the way up to here because you're not going to have room for the water to go into the radiator and back into the jug. It's part of its cooling system. It has to have that space. We're going to check the transmission fluid in a minute. You have to check that when the engine's running. So let's check the brake fluid, which I can see right through here that it is low. So I'm just going to pull the top, this rubber, take it off, and put it right back in there on top like that. Don't place it in and then the lid. Put it back, whoops, in the lid, and then set the lid back down. Clearly it's low. Normally when that's low, that means your brake pads are worn a little bit. If it's extremely low, then your brake pads are worn a whole bunch, because the thickness of the brake pads determines how much fluid is inside the line. So the further or the thinner those brake pads get, then the more fluid it takes to keep them at the spot that they need to be on the rotor. Therefore, this will be even emptier. So I'm going to go ahead and top it off, but tomorrow I'll check those brakes. It probably needs front shoes. You normally change the front shoes about every 3 times to the back shoes once. Or pads, whatever they are. So, looks like our brake fluid's good. So now I'm going to check the power steering. Power steering is down here. It should be marked on the lid, power steering. It's got a little dipstick on it. The very first line on this one, I can't half read it. That's low, that's full. You can see right there it actually says add. If it's hot, it'll be foamy. That's up to here. But you always want to check your fluids when they're cold, except the transmission. So we're right there, we're good. And that's supposed to be a little runny. So that's good. Now we're going to check transmission fluid, so you're going to hear the engine start up and let it run. When I start it up, I'm going to put it into drive, and just put your foot on the brake, and then I'm going to put it into reverse, back into drive, and then into park. The reason that we do that is to fill up the valve body with all the fluid that it needs, and then you check the transmission fluid. Now that I've shifted it a couple of times, it's not going to be an accurate reading the first time you pull it out. So make sure that you clean it off and then check it again. Now on this transmission fluid dipstick, let me see which way it reads. It's this way. These dots are a little bit closer together, but they still represent 1 quart from the first dot to the last dot. Whether there's 2, 4, 6 dots in between each one, or the first to the last, represents 1 quart of fluid. Oh, we'll filter down in there, pull it back out, and it is about 1/2 quart low. The reason that I say that is because you can see where the fluid level is, see where the first dot is and second dot is. So it's just under 1/2 quart low. So put her back in there, and I'll put about 1/2 quart in there, and that's it. All these fluids are good. Never open this cap when you're checking your radiator. unless you know it's absolutely cold and you need to get the air out of the system. Always use this one. So that's it. That's checking all your fluids on your vehicle. So next time, don't go pay somebody $30, $40 to do it. Do it yourself. By the way, if you are going to add engine oil, you don't add it through that little hole, just in case you don't know. You're going to actually pour it inside here where the engine oil goes, and it tells you what kind that it recommends, 5W30 for this truck. On the transmission fluid, you're going to get a skinny funnel, and you're just going to pour it right into that hole. Pull the dipstick out, stick the skinny funnel in there, and it's going to go straight into there. Water, of course, is going to go right into the water. Washer fluid, right into that one. Brake fluid, right into that one. Power steering, again, a funnel, and it's going to go right into that one where we pull the lid off. So, okay, thanks.